select the project. This is how I'll start creating a project in Teleport. Then I must change the name of it. To for your invoices app. Okay, then I can open the editor. So now I've got the biggest size is 1200 pixels, but I want to make it much bigger, so I'll select these two, and the smallest phone screen size is 390, and I'll be working with this, the biggest screen first. What I would like to do from here is I want to create a landing page. So I want this landing page to have a background and then a gradient and some text. I'm gonna look for an image that I'll use as background. So I have this image that I'm going to drag. So basically you just drag and drop the image on your assets manager icon. I want to go back to the layers and then add a container. So I'll just add a row, and then because I just want this row to actually take the entire screen, I'll give it a height of 100 vertical height. You don't have to do this when you're coding, but the reason why I'm doing this is because I want this container to be full screen, so to actually have 100% vertical height. Okay, so that's what the VH stands for in CSS. These are all CSS properties. Height is a CSS property. So if you click on advanced, you will see all these properties here. The display is flex, the width is 100, the height is 100, vertical height, and then we have borders. Okay, I didn't even know that we had borders, so that's a good thing. Let's go and remove these borders. So this is where it's coming from. I'll get rid of it because I don't need borders. And then as we are here, I want to change its background. So I'll go to background image. You'll see that it's by default it's giving me its own image URL, so I'll change it to mine. I will go to assets manager, right click on the image that I want and copy the asset link, and then paste and press enter. So this should bring the image that I want, and then if I click in the middle of this image, I will be able to place it in the center like that, and change it to no repeats. So no repeats, basically it's also a CSS property for not sorry, not a property, it's part of the background settings of a CSS property, that the image, the background shouldn't be repeated. Okay, so I have this image now at the back. I wanted it to be black and white maybe, so that it doesn't interfere with other. So I will drag and drop this here. Then I'm just going to change the link of this background to this background. Okay, so I wanted to keep it black and white simply because I don't want it to interfere a lot with anything I'll have in the front. And then for now I want to have two columns inside here. I want to have something at the top and then some text at the bottom. So what I want to do is drag and drop a new container, but then I want everything to start from the top. So this container will be 100% and it will be 30 vertical heights, which means it's only gonna take 30% of the page in terms of the height. And I can duplicate this and then change this to 70 vertical heights, meaning it will take the rest of the page. Okay, so it's appearing like this because this container, the setting here shows that the direction must be a row, but in fact the direction must be a column. Alright, so when I do that, then they should both appear normally. So the one at the top, I want it to be 30 vertical height, and then the one at the bottom is the one that I want for 70 VH. Okay, so for now I don't have a logo for this, so I'll just add some text. And so I'm gonna add a text here. But as you can see, the text is very much inside. It's like this column here there's no space between the text and the column, so I have to add a bit of padding. So padding is also a CSS property. Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna give this a whole same size. This I'll make it 22 pixels. So this heading, I'll just change this to FYI. As you can see, it looks small because it's on 25%. If I have to make it 100, it's very big. Right. FYI. I think I'll have to change this font maybe to 48 just for this logo. And then the font, I haven't found the font yet, so I'll just use Arial. Alright. And then the text color, I'll have to change it here. So I'm gonna grab a text color that we'll be using for this. Then I'll use this text color. I hope we can see that. I don't think I can see that well, but I'll have to play around with this. Well, anyone can play around with it in the future. Okay, and then the direction of this must be column, and we'll change this text to for your invoices. And then I want to make this a little bit smaller, so I'll maybe make it 30. Okay, we'll just keep it like this for now. When I get more inspiration, I'll see what I can do there. But that's not the purpose of this session anyway. So we have some form of, this would be a logo, but we don't have a logo yet for this application, so I'm just gonna use this for now, and that's the name of the application. And here what I would like to do is I want to add a gradient at the bottom here, so I'll add a background and the gradients, and I want to edit the gradients, just make it face at the top like that, then the bottom will be this color. Sorry, the bottom will be this color. And the top will be just white. Then I want the top to basically not have to be a bit faded like this. Okay. And then what I would like to do here is just add more text. So I'll come here and add text to this column. Yeah, there's my text. It's very small, so you can't really see it. This column here, I actually want things to be positioned at the bottom of it. And then the padding that I would like to have is the same padding that I have everywhere, which is 2 units. But for the bottom padding, I want it to be a little bit more because the text is very low. So I'll use maybe 64 pixels at the bottom, and then I'll change this text to something that will, like a call of action that will make users want to sign up. Okay, and then from here I will change the font to Arial. That's what we're using. And I want to make this 22 pixels, and I'll keep this white. And then I want this to be bold. Same, oh, this is fine. Okay, and then the next thing I want to do is I want to have 2 buttons, one that says sign up and the other one that says sign in. Okay, I'm gonna add a row at the bottom. So this row will basically have the buttons. So I want this row to be right after the text. And as you can see, they all because you can see they're both positioned in a row, but in fact I want it to be a column, so I will come here and change it to what it's supposed to be. Sorry. Oh, this, yeah, something happened there. Alright, and then I just want to have some space between the text and this row as well, so I'll add a gap of 12 pixels. And then from here I want to add a button. This button will say sign up. I can even drag this button straight in the container. As you can see, it works, so it's there. And I just want to sort of bring this up a bit, and then I want to say sign up. My sign up button, I want to give it the same styling, Arial, 13 pixels, bold, yeah, that's fine. And then I want to sort of give it a width, so I would like to keep my button to large. padding in it, I'll just change this padding quickly. 0, 11 pixels. Alright, like I said, these are my own values that I'm giving them, so you can also, you can be free and creative and find out what works for you in terms of size of fonts and size of the buttons. Okay, so for me, I'll leave it like this for now, and then I'll remove this border. And the radius, I'm just going to give it a chord radius for now. Okay, so this is how the button looks like. This one is spacing. Okay, let's keep it like that. I think there's some, there's not enough space between these two, so I'll just use my margin here, and the bottom margin I will just add like 1.5 units. I don't know why it didn't change. Oh no, sorry, that was wrong. I had to give it to this text. So 1.5. This will give the button and that takes a bit of more space, and then duplicate. I also want to have space between these two buttons, so I'll add that 12 pixels, so we have some space in between. And then this is sign in. Alright, so we've got these two buttons, one to sign in and one to sign up, and we've got this that says create and send invoices, in seconds. So this is basically our landing page. It's done. You can have a look at it on all the different screen sizes and adjust. This is looks good. Okay, maybe for smaller fonts, what we can do is just open the padding here a bit. Maybe just make it like 1 unit for the padding. Okay, so this should now just be, I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, even this, we can always reduce the font so that it looks a bit different on mobile. So we can say 16. Okay, so this will be the mobile version, how it will look on mobile. We can also look here. This is still mobile as well, so we can also change this to units, and here at the top, units and units. Okay, so this is how it will look on a mobile phone, and this is a tablet, mostly a tablet, then a laptop, a desktop, and another bigger screen. Okay, so you can actually preview this. And then, yeah, this is exactly what it will look like on my laptop, and on smaller screens such as iPhone 14 Pro Max, this is what it would look like. Okay, yeah, we just need to work on this logo maybe more. Yeah, that's what we have for today.